Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 20.
It opens with this incredibly tense moment. Cao Cao has captured Zhang Liao, who was Lu Bu's general.
And he's got a sword out ready to execute him. High stakes.
But then Liu Bei steps in. The text says he, clings to Cao Cao's arm.
Yeah, physically intervening. And Guan Yu is right there too, kneeling down, pleading for Zhang Liao's life.
It's quite an intervention. What's Liu Bei's argument?
He basically says, look, this guy is loyal. That's valuable. We should keep someone like this.
Recognizing quality even in an opponent.
Exactly. And Guan Yu throws his own weight behind it. He says, I've known Wen Yuan, that's Zhang Liao's courtesy name. He's always been loyal and righteous. I'll guarantee it with my own life.
Wow. That's a serious guarantee.
It absolutely is. It puts Guan Yu's considerable reputation on the line.
So how does Cao Cao react to this? Two major figures pleading like this.
Well, this is classic Cao Cao, isn't it? He completely flips, drops the sword, starts laughing.
Laughing.
Yeah, claims it was all just a test, a joke.
That's a likely story.
Right. Then he personally unties Zhang Liao, gives him his own clothes to wear, and seats him in a place of honor. Cao Cao understands the value of this kind of public display. He's showing everyone, surrender to me, show loyalty, and you'll be rewarded, not punished.
And does it work? Instantly.
Instantly. Zhang Liao surrenders on the spot. And Cao Cao immediately appoints him Zanlang General and gives him the title Guan Neihu. Significant appointments.
So not just sparing a life, but immediately integrating him into the power structure.
Precisely. It's a masterclass in recruitment through calculated magnanimity.
And this has immediate knock-on effects, right? It's not just about Zhang Liao.
No, not at all. Zhang Liao's first task, go recruit Zhang Ba.
Another significant regional leader.
Yep. And Zhang Ba, hearing Lu Bu's is dead, and Zhang Liao is now with Cao Cao, he comes over with his whole army.
Okay, so the dam is breaking.
It really is. Zhang Ba then convinces Sun Guan, Wu Dun, and Yin Li to surrender too. Only one guy, Chang Ji, holds out.
So Cao Cao just absorbed multiple factions almost overnight.
That's exactly what happened. He makes Zhang Ba the minister of Langya, puts Sun Guan and the others in charge of guarding the Qing and Zhou coastal areas.
Strategically vital regions.
Absolutely. He's consolidating power, expanding territory, and putting his new recruits into key positions. It's efficient.
Okay, so after all this, Cao Cao heads back to the capital, Zhishan, triumphant.
Rewards his troops, brings Lu Bu's family back. Victory lap, basically.
But there's another interesting moment in Zuzu. The people there love Liu Bei.
They really do. They block the road, burning incense, begging him to stay on as their governor. They saw him as a benevolent leader.
How does Cao Cao handle that? It's a direct display of loyalty to someone else right in front of him.
He handles it very cunningly. Publicly, he's all praise for Liu Bei. Says something like, oh, Lu Shijun's contributions are huge. Let's get him to the emperor first, get him his official titles, then he can come back.
Sounds reasonable on the surface.
Totally. But then, quietly, he appoints someone else, Zhu, as the acting governor.
Ah, so Liu Bei doesn't get to go back to his power base.
Exactly. And even better, from Cao Cao's perspective, he takes Liu Bei back to Xuchang and houses him nearby, very close by.
Keep your friends close.
And your potential rivals even closer. Textbook Cao Cao move. Control disguised as honor.
So Liu Bei is now in the capital, effectively under Cao Cao's thumb, despite the public honors. This sets up the next big scene, right? Meeting the emperor.
Yes. Cao Cao presents Liu Bei's achievements to Emperor Xian. Seems like standard procedure.
But the emperor asks a question.
A really crucial one. He asks Liu Bei, who is your ancestor?
Which, in that context, is not small talk. It's about legitimacy, lineage.
Everything. And Liu Bei lays it out confidently. Descendant of Prince Jing of Zongshan, great-great-grandson of Emperor Jing. He recites his whole connection to the Han imperial line.
He knows his family tree.
He certainly does. And the emperor orders it checked officially. The minister of the imperial clan gets the records.
And reads out this long lineage, tracing it all the way back.
All the way back through Liu Shang, Prince Jing, who was Emperor Jing's son, generation after generation, down to Liu Bei's father, Liu Han.
And the conclusion.
The big reveal. Based on the official genealogy, Liu Bei is the current emperor's uncle.
Uncle. Wow, that changes things.
Dramatically. The emperor's apparently thrilled. The text says he secretly hopes this newly discovered heroic uncle might help him push back against Cao Cao's influence.
A potential ally within the family.
Exactly. And Liu Bei gets new titles immediately. Left General Marquis Vikang. And from then on, everyone knows him as Imperial Uncle Liu.
That title alone gives him immense legitimacy, doesn't it?
Huge legitimacy. It puts him on a completely different footing, politically and symbolically. It's a direct connection to the Han throne, something Cao Cao lacks.
So this discovery, this imperial recognition, it must have caused some waves in Cao Cao's camp.
Oh, definitely. His advisors, people like Xin Yu, were apparently quite worried. They saw this as potentially undermining Cao Cao's authority.
Giving Liu Bei too much status.
Right. But Cao Cao's response is, well, it's chillingly pragmatic.
What does he say?
He argues the opposite. He says this new status, of imperial uncle title, will actually make Liu Bei more bound by imperial decrees.
Which Cao Cao controls anyway.
Exactly. He figures it makes Liu Bei easier to manage. Plus, Liu Bei is right there in Xuchang. In my grasp, as Cao Cao puts it.
So he sees it as a tool for control, not a threat. That's quite a perspective.
It shows his supreme confidence, maybe overconfidence, in his ability to manipulate the situation.
But he is worried about someone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
His real concern seems to be Yang Biao, the Grand Commandant.
Why him?
Because Yang Biao is related by marriage to Yuan Shu, one of Cao Cao's major rivals, a potential fifth column.
And Cao Cao doesn't wait around when he feels threatened.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He acts immediately, secretly trumps up charges that Yang Biao is colluding with Yuan Shu.
Frames him.
Looks like it. Arrests him, orders an investigation. It's a swift, brutal move to eliminate a perceived threat.
Sends a clear message, too.
A very clear message. But then someone actually speaks up against this.
Really? Who?
Kong Rong, a respected scholar and official. He argues passionately for Yang Biao, citing his family's long record of service and virtue.
He makes a historical analogy, too, doesn't he?
Yeah, powerful one. He asks, essentially, if King Cheng killed Duke Xiao, could the Duke of Zhou claim he didn't know? Basically saying, Cao Cao, you're responsible for this.
That's brave. Did it work?
Surprisingly, yes, to an extent. Cao Cao backs down slightly. He releases Yang Biao, although he strips him of his office and sends him home.
So, a partial victory for dissent, but then someone else tries.
Yes, Imperial advisor Zhao Yan. He goes even further, directly impeaching Cao Cao for ignoring the emperor's decrees and arresting ministers without cause.
Wow. That's incredibly risky. What was he thinking?
Maybe pure principle, or maybe a massive miscalculation of Cao Cao's mood.
Because Cao Cao's reaction
That's
is
fury, absolute fury. He has Zhao Yan arrested and executed immediately.
no hesitation that time.
None. And the effect? The text says all officials were terrified. End of dissent. For now, the Iron Fist is fully revealed.
So dissent crushed, rivals neutralized or co-opted. Cao Cao's power looks pretty secure.
It does. And that's when one of his advisors, Cheng Yu, makes a bold suggestion.
Jeff.
He says, basically, look, your prestige is at its peak. Why not seize the moment? Become a king or a hegemon. Basically, make the power official. Maybe even aim for the throne itself.
The ultimate consolidation of power. Does Cao Cao go for it?
He doesn't. Not yet. His response is very cautious. He says, the court still has supporters of the Han. We can't act rashly.
Interesting. Ambition tempered by strategy.
Exactly. But he does decide on a next step. He says he'll invite the emperor on a grand hunting trip.
A hunting trip? Why?
To observe the situation. It sounds like a way to test the political winds, see who's truly loyal to him versus the emperor, maybe gauge the military's allegiance when they're out in the field.
So it's not just a hunt. It's another calculated political move.
With Cao Cao, almost everything is. It shows he's thinking about the next stage, even if he's cautious about how he gets there.
So he organizes this massive hunt at Sushin, and he brings, well, the text says 100,000 troops. That's a huge force.
Staggering, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just for a hunt.
Right. And the emperor, Emperor Xian, he clearly has reservations, but, well, he doesn't dare refuse. He can't, really.
No, he's in a very weak position.
So what was Cao Cao's official story? Why this giant hunt? How much was just, flexing his muscles, pure intimidation?
Well, that's what's so interesting. Cao Cao's justification, his cover story, is actually quite clever. He doesn't just say, let's go hunting. No, he frames it as this ancient imperial tradition. The spring search, summer seed, autumn hunt, winter hunt, supposedly showing off the emperor's military strength.
Ah, okay. So using tradition as a cover.
Exactly. But when you look at the context, the sheer number of troops, it's clearly a spectacle. It's psychological warfare almost, a masterclass. He's essentially staging a public takeover isn't quite the right word, but a public assertion of dominance over the Han dynasty. Not with weapons, not yet, but by stripping the emperor of his symbolic authority right there in front of everyone important.
Wow. So he's not just hunting deer, he's hunting legitimacy.
Precisely. He's going after the symbols of imperial power itself.
So on this very loaded hunting trip, who are the key players we need to picture? What did their presence, maybe even their gear, tell us?
Okay, so you've got the Emperor Xian. He's riding his horse, the carefree steed, which is maybe a bit ironic given the circumstances.
Yeah, probably.
And he's got his special bow, the Plea, the precious carved bow, and these unique arrows, the Shen, golden-tipped arrows, very imperial, symbols of his status.
Okay, emperor, bow, arrows, got it.
Then you have Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei. They're there too, subtly armored, leading a small group of cavalry, maybe a few dozen. Their presence is like this quiet counter-narrative, right? The loyalists are still here.
A sort of silent protest, almost.
Kind of. And then, of course, there's Cao Cao. He's on his own magnificent horse, the yellow-maned lightning steed, and he's leading that massive army. His horse, his troops, everything about him just screams power. Overwhelming power.
It really paints a picture. You can feel the tension just in the descriptions.
So first, a little warm-up, almost. A rabbit pops up. Liu Bei, who's a skilled archer, takes it down with one shot.
Nice shot.
Yeah, and the emperor praises him. It's a small moment, maybe acknowledging loyalty there.
A nod to Liu Bei.
But then, the main event. A large deer appears. The emperor tries to shoot it. Takes 3 shots, actually. Misses every single one.
Oof. Not a good look for the emperor.
Not at all. And then he does something really significant. He turns to Cao Cao, and he hands him his own imperial bow, the Konli, and one of the special Wana, the golden-tipped arrows. Basically says, here, you try.
Okay, so he's handing over the symbols of his authority, in a way.
Exactly. And Cao Cao, well, he takes the emperor's bow, uses that unique golden arrow, draws, shoots. Perfect hit. Right through the deer. Skillful, no doubt.
But it's what happens next that's the real kicker, right? The deception, the sheer nerve of Cao Cao.
Oh, absolutely. This is the crucial moment. The crowd, all the officials and soldiers, they see the deer go down. And what do they see sticking out of it?
The emperor's golden arrow.
Precisely. So naturally, they assume the emperor made the shot. And they all start cheering, shouting, long live, Wan Sui, to the emperor.
As you would expect.
But Cao Cao, instead of, stepping back, letting the emperor have this moment, maybe even playing along, he does the opposite. It's really quite stunning. He rides his horse directly in front of the emperor.
No way.
Yes. Positions himself between the cheering crowd and the emperor, and basically accepts the cheers, the long live calls, for himself.
Wow. That's incredibly brazen, publicly stealing the emperor's glory.
It's more than just rude. In that era, with the reverence for the emperor, it's practically a public announcement. He's saying, look who really holds the power here. He's stealing the emperor's thunder, his legitimacy, right out in the open. It's a de facto dethronement, almost.
Just imagine seeing that. The audacity is off the charts. It really does feel like something from a play. So what's the immediate reaction?
Guan Yu is right there, sees this happen, and he just explodes internally. The text uses great imagery. His eyebrows bristle up, and his famous phoenix eyes flare wide open.
You can picture it. Pure fury.
Absolutely. And he doesn't just get angry, he reacts. He reaches for his sword, pulls it out. He's ready to kill Cao Cao right then and there. For him, this isn't just disrespect. It's treason, an unforgivable insult to the emperor, to the Han dynasty he serves.
Okay, so Guan Yu's about to make a potentially suicidal move, giving Cao Cao's army. It's incredibly tense. Why does Liu Bei stop him? What's the calculation there? It seems like the perfect moment to strike, in a way.
Liu Bei sees it happening, sees the danger instantly. Guan Yu lunging forward, Cao Cao surrounded by guards.
Yeah.
It could be a massacre. So he acts fast. Just a quick shake of his hand, a meaningful look, of the text calls it. Juste. Very subtle, but Guan Yu gets the message.
He backs down.
He does. But later, Guan Yu is furious with Liu Bei. He basically asks, why did you stop me from killing Cao the traitor?
Yeah, I bet he was confused and angry. What was Liu Bei's reasoning?
Liu Bei explains it very pragmatically. He uses this brilliant analogy. Du zhong ji qi. It literally means don't throw something at a rat if you're afraid of breaking the dishes nearby.
Okay. The cure could be worse than the disease.
Exactly. Cao Cao was standing so close to the emperor, physically right beside him, and surrounded by his most loyal bodyguards and officers. If Guan Yu attacked, even if he somehow succeeded against the odds, the emperor himself could easily have been killed or injured in the chaos.
Right. The collateral damage would be unthinkable.
Unthinkable. It would have been a disaster for their cause, for the Han loyalists. Liu Bei recognized it wasn't the right time or place. He knew Cao Cao was a threat, a future problem, definitely. But he told Guan Yu they had to be patient, keep their intentions secret for now. It's a hard lesson in, picking your battles wisely.
It really is. That restraint from Liu Bei, even facing such a blatant insult, is quite something. Okay, let's shift scenes. From the hunting grounds back to the palace. The emperor must have been reeling after that.
Completely devastated. He goes back, and he's weeping to his wife, Empress Fu. He just pours out his heart.
What does he say? What's the core of his despair?
He basically recounts his whole ordeal, how he suffered under previous tyrants like Dong Zhuo, then Li Zhou, and Guo Si. He'd hoped, maybe foolishly, that Cao Cao would be different, a loyal minister who could restore order.
But that hope is gone now.
Completely shattered. He now sees Cao Cao for what he is, another power-hungry tyrant. The phrase used is "sudi," meaning he controls the state, plays power games, acts with arbitrary authority. The emperor says he feels like Cao Cao is a thorn in his back, just this constant, painful presence.
And the hunt incident.
That was the final straw. He calls Cao Cao's actions "tuti," extremely rude, the height of insolence. And now he genuinely fears for his life, and for the empress's life too. It's not just about power anymore, it's about survival. His despair is mixed with betrayal and this crushing sense of powerlessness.
And Empress Fu, listening to this, asks this really heartbreaking question, doesn't she? Something that just captures their isolation.
She does. She asks, essentially, are there no loyal officials left? Doesn't anyone who eats the Han court's rice care enough to save the nation? It really highlights how trapped they feel, how alone. With Cao Cao controlling everything, who can they possibly turn to?
That's the million-dollar question. So where do they find an answer?
Well, right then, the empress's father, Fu Wan, enters the conversation. He apparently saw the whole thing at Zuxian too.
Ah, so he knows how bad it was.
Yes, and he confirms their fears. He points out that Cao Cao has filled the court with his own relatives, his own followers, finding allies within the existing power structure. Almost impossible. They're all loyal to Cao Cao.
So what's the solution then?
Fu Wan suggests they need to look outside that circle. He says only royal relatives, people connected to the imperial family by blood or marriage, can really be trusted in this kind of situation.
Okay, that makes sense. Does he have someone specific in mind?
He does. He recommends Dong Cheng. He holds the title General of Chariots and Cavalry, so it's high-ranking militarily and politically. But crucially, he's also an imperial uncle related to the emperor's family. That's the key qualification here. Trustworthiness through family ties.
Dong Cheng. Okay, so they have a potential ally, but the next problem is huge. How do you even communicate with him? Cao Cao must have spies everywhere. The emperor is practically a prisoner.
Exactly. Sending a message is incredibly risky. A written order could easily be intercepted.
So how do they plan to get around that? This seems like it requires some real spycraft.
It does. And Fu Wan comes up with this really ingenious plan. He suggests the emperor commission a new robe and a special jade belt.
Okay, a new outfit. How does that help?
The secret is inside the belt. The idea is to write a secret edict, on silk, and then carefully sew this edict into the lining the knot of the jade belt.
Ah, hidden inside.
Yeah.
Clever.
Very clever. And the crucial part is, Dong Cheng won't find it immediately. The emperor will give him the belt as a gift, but he'll only discover the hidden message when he gets home, examines it closely, away from prying eyes. It bypasses Cao Cao's surveillance network beautifully.
That is brilliant. Using an everyday object, a symbol of imperial favor, as a container for treasonous communication.
Precisely. It blends right in.
And the emperor's commitment here, the detail about how he writes the edict really shows the desperation, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. The emperor doesn't just dictate it, he writes it himself. And to really underline the urgency, the life and death nature of it all, he bites his own finger and uses his blood as ink.
Wow. A blood edict. You can't get much more serious than that.
It conveys everything, the gravity, the plea, the personal sacrifice. Then Empress Fu, his loyal partner in this, carefully stitches this blood-written silk edict into the purple lining of the jade belt. So the message is prepared, concealed.
Okay, the package is ready. Now, delivery. How does the emperor actually hand over this incredibly dangerous belt to Dong Cheng without anyone suspecting a thing?
This part is also played very carefully. The emperor puts on the new robe and the jade belt himself, making them seem important, part of his attire. Then he summons Dong Cheng to the palace.
Under what pretext?
He pretends it's about offering consolation and praise for Dong Cheng's past loyalty, his great contributions during earlier crises. Just looks like the emperor showing favor to a relative and official.
Okay, keeping up appearances.
Exactly. Then he leads Dongcheng on a walk, not just anywhere, but to the Grand Ancestral Temple and then to the Pavilion of Meritorious Officials. These are highly symbolic locations, steeped in Han Dynasty history and loyalty.
Setting the stage emotionally and symbolically.
Right, and this is where the Emperor starts dropping these subtle, coded hints, using history as a message.
How does he do that? What does he say?
Well, first, standing before the portraits, he points to Emperor Gaozu, the founder of the Han Dynasty. He asks Dongcheng, sort of casually, do you remember Gaozu's origins? How he started as just a village head, or...
Reminding him of humble beginnings leading to greatness.
Exactly. And then he specifically mentions how Gaozu cut the snake to raise an army, the legendary start of his rebellion that founded the dynasty. Dongcheng, likely a bit surprised by this history lesson, recounts Gaozu's famous deeds.
So the emperor is implicitly drawing a parallel, calling for similar courage.
That's the clear implication. It's a powerful, subtle call to action. Remember what true loyalty to the Han looks like. Remember the courage it took to found this dynasty. Then he goes further. He points to the portraits of Zhang Liang and Zhao He, Gaozu's most crucial advisors, the architects of his success.
The key strategists.
Right. And he looks at Dongcheng and says, Tu shao tu. Essentially, you too should stand beside me, just like these two stood beside Emperor Gaozu. He's basically saying, I need you to be my Zhang Liang, my Xiao He, my most vital supporter.
That's an incredible level of trust and expectation being placed on Dongcheng all through historical allusion.
It is. And Dongcheng must be starting to sense something significant is happening.
So then comes the actual handoff. How does he give him the robe and belt?
The emperor makes it seem like a spontaneous gesture of reward. He says something like, I don't have much else to give you for your past service, referencing Dongcheng helping him during an earlier escape, rescuing the imperial carriage.
Okay, framing it as a reward for past loyalty.
Yes. And then he says, so take this robe and belt that I am wearing. Wear them, and it will be as if you are our Sag, always by my side. It sounds like a high honor, a symbol of closeness.
A very plausible gesture of imperial favor.
Entirely plausible. Then he takes off the robe and the belt, hands them directly to Dongcheng. And as he does, he leans in and whispers the crucial final instruction, which means, when you return home, examine it carefully. Do not fail my intentions, or do not disappoint my hopes.
The trigger phrase, examine it carefully.
Exactly. And the text says, Dongcheng Gu Yi. He understands. Maybe not the full details yet, but he gets the meaning. He knows there's something more here. He takes the robe and belt, bows, and leaves. Unknowingly, at that moment, carrying the emperor's desperate, blood-written plea to save the dynasty.
He was just leaving the pavilion and passing through the palace gate. Timing is everything here.
And bam! Right at that moment, who does he run into?
Cao Cao. Of course. And the source points out there's no place to hide.
Nowhere to go.
So Dongcheng has to stop, pay his respects. You can just feel the air crackle.
Oh, yeah. And the tension just skyrockets immediately. Cao Cao doesn't waste any time. Starts asking these really pointed questions. Where does the imperial uncle come from?
And then he notices the gifts the emperor gave Dongcheng.
Yeah, for what reason were these bestowed? He's talking about a brocade robe and a jade belt.
Okay, so Dongcheng's in a really tight spot here. What's going through his head, do you think? How does he react?
Well, his heart must have just plummeted. The source is clear. He knew that there must be a secret edict inside the belt.
Ah, so he already suspects. Or knows.
Yeah, and he feared Cao Cao would see through it, so he delayed taking it off. That little hesitation.
Big mistake with someone like Cao Cao. He's a master manipulator. He sees that instantly.
He pounces. He's not just being polite, is he?
No way. This is pure assertion of dominance. He's probing for weakness, and then he just shouted to his attendants, quickly take it off.
Wow. No request, just a command.
Exactly. Stripping Dongcheng of any control in that moment. It's brutal.
And then Cao starts this incredibly meticulous, almost performative inspection.
He takes the belt, examines it for a long time, just holds it, then laughs. Indeed, it is a fine jade belt.
But he's not done.
Not even close. Then he demands the robe, and he holds it up, looks at it against the sun. The source says Cao himself held it up with his hand, examining it closely against the sun's shadow. Very deliberate.
It's not just checking for secrets, is it?
Yeah.
It feels like psychological warfare.
Totally. He's playing with Dongcheng, enjoying making him squirm. He even tries this stuff on himself, asks his guys, how is the length?
And then the ultimate power move, the taunt.
Right. He says basically, hey, how about you just give these to me? Suggests Dongcheng transfer this robe and belt to me. How about it?
It's just pushing him, testing his limits, seeing if he'll crack under pressure.
It's such a vivid example of how, in that kind of court, even a casual chat can be a weapon.
And Dongcheng manages to refuse, right?
Right.
He mentions imperial grace.
He does, somehow, but Cao just brushes it off. Oh, just kidding. A mere jest, he calls it, and gives the items back.
It's chilling, a masterclass in intimidation. The real message is loud and clear. I'm watching you. I know something's up.
And what's really fascinating, despite all that probing, all that shrewdness, he doesn't find the secret.
Not yet.
He checks, he intimidates, but nope, the secret stays hidden. For now, Dongcheng goes home, you can imagine, completely rattled, deeply uneasy.
And you'd think surviving that encounter would be a relief, but no, his unease just grows.
Right. He gets back, sits alone in his study that night, and he starts searching, painstakingly.
He carefully examines the robe again and again, but found nothing. Then he pulls out the jade belt, looks at the intricate carvings, the white jade carvings of dragons and flowers with a purple brocade lining.
Still nothing. There was not a single thing. He knows, or strongly suspects, something is there, but he just can't find it. Imagine the frustration.
Especially knowing the fate of the Empire might literally be sewn into this belt.
The pressure must have been unbelievable. He's looking for something he sure exists, but it's hidden so incredibly well. And then fate steps in. Or maybe just chance.
Yeah, the source says he's exhausted from searching, was about to lean on the table to rest, when suddenly a lamp flower, which is like a burnt bit of the wick, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fell onto the belt, burning the lining. Just like that, a tiny accident.
And in that split second, everything changes. He's startled, wipes it off, but it's too late.
It had already burned a hole, faintly revealing white silk with hidden bloodstains.
Whoa, bloodstains. He must have known then. He urgently took a knife and cut it open.
And there it was. The Emperor's handwritten secret edict in blood characters.
That detail, the lamp flower, it's not just random color, is it? It really highlights how precarious secrets were back then. No digital encryption here.
Absolutely. It shows how even the most careful plans could be undone by the smallest, most unpredictable thing. Chance becomes almost as powerful as Cao himself.
This is the turning point. So what did the edict actually say? It was so vital it needed this level of secrecy, this desperate measure.
Well, it's basically a cry for help from the Emperor. It starts by establishing the proper order of things, father, son, ruler, minister.
Setting up the complaint.
Precisely, he says. Recently, the villain Cao has usurped power, oppressing his sovereign father. He has colluded with factions, corrupting the imperial court. Imperial rewards and punishments are no longer decided by me. He's laying it all out.
We can really feel his fear, his helplessness.
Hmm.
I worry day and night that the realm is in danger.
And then comes the direct command to Dongcheng, the plea for salvation.
You, as a great minister of the state, and my closest relative, should remember the difficulties of the High Emperor's founding of the dynasty.
Gather loyal and righteous heroes, eliminate the treacherous faction, and restore peace to the altars of the state and grain. It's a huge ask. Basically, overthrow Cao for me.
And the way it was written, in blood.
Yeah, the Emperor emphasizes the gravity, the personal sacrifice involved. I have broken my finger and shed blood to write this edict and give it to you.
Wow. Broken his own finger.
Intense, right. And a clear warning. Be exceedingly careful, do not fail my intent. It even gives the date. Edict given in the 3rd month of spring, Jian, and 4th year. That's 200 AD.
So Dongcheng reads this. What's his immediate reaction? It must have been overwhelming.
Utterly. The source says he reads it and just has tears streaming down his face and could not sleep that night. What does that signify for him? Well, everything.
The weight of it all comes crashing down.
Totally. The burden of this knowledge is just immense. He goes back to his study the next morning, reread the edict many times, but could find no strategy.
He knows what he has to do, but not how?
Right. He pondered a plan to eliminate Cao, but before he could finalize it, he leaned on the table and fell asleep, exhausted by the weight of it all.
Yeah, and the edict slips out a bit, just enough so you can see the character, the Imperial Eye. A huge giveaway.
And that detail, that tiny slip, it just ramps up the tension immediately. I mean, just having that edict is treasonous enough, right? Let alone plotting. His life, his whole family, maybe the last flicker of the Han dynasty, it's all right there, hanging by a thread. Every second is a gamble.
And then boom, things get even more complicated. Wang Zifu shows up. He's a court attendant and apparently quite close to Dong Cheng.
Okay.
He spots the edict, picks it up quietly. And then, get this, he confronts Dong Cheng, but pretends he's going to turn him in. He says, do no chip. Well, the dude tell like, you want to kill Cao Cao, I'm going to report you.
Whoa, okay,
Huh.
that's a bold move. Talk about putting someone on the spot.
Seriously, Dong Cheng's reaction, total panic. The text uses this phrase. He Tornulin has his soul left his body, hands and feet scrambling. He realizes the edict, his secret weapon, is gone.
So why the deception from Wang Zifu? Why not just say, hey, I'm with you? It has to be a test, right? A really intense test of Dong Cheng's loyalty. Is he really committed, or is he going to crumble under pressure? Wang Zifu needs to know he's dealing with someone absolutely dedicated.
Makes sense.
And it works. Dong Cheng breaks down, tearfully swears his loyalty to the Han. Only then does Wang Zifu reveal his true colors. He says, you too. Essentially, my family has served the Han for generations. How could I be disloyal? I want to help you take down this traitor.
Wow, what a moment. That's the real start of the alliance then. Forged in fear and then relief, I guess?
And shared purpose, proven under duress, critical stuff.
And they don't waste any time. The agreement they make is immediate, and honestly, it's chilling. They decide to, they make a pact in secret, pledging to sacrifice their 3 clans to repay the emperor.
The 3 clans. Just pause on that. That's not just your wife and kids.
No, it's your immediate family, your father's entire clan, and your mother's entire clan. It's absolute no going back. They write their names down, sign it on white silk. Done.
It's just staggering. The level of commitment is almost unthinkable today. It shows how deeply ingrained that idea of, like, familial responsibility and loyalty to the dynasty was. This isn't just personal risk. It's sacrificing your entire past and future lineage. Total conviction.
So, pact signed. Now they need more people. Wang Zifu immediately suggests General Wu Zilan, says they're really close.
Okay, bringing in trusted friends first. Standard procedure for conspiracy, I guess.
Right. And Dong Cheng thinks of his own guys. Zhang Ji, who commands the Changshui cavalry, and Wu Shuo, an advisor. He's sure they'll join.
Good connections.
And then talk about fate, or maybe just like Zhang Ji and Wu Shuo show up right then. Just as they're being discussed, Dong Cheng is like, yeah, heaven is helping me.
Huh. You couldn't write it better.
So, quick thinking. Wang Zifu hides behind a screen. Dong Cheng greets the newcomers. And it turns out they're already angry about that infamous hunting incident where Cao Cao seemed to disrespect the emperor.
Ah, the hunting incident. Yeah, that was a major point of resentment for a lot of loyalists. It symbolized Cao Cao's growing arrogance and power.
Exactly. So, perfect timing again. Wang Zifu pops out from behind the screen and pulls the same trick.
He does it again, the fake accusation.
Yep. You two want to kill Cao Cao. I'm going to report you, and Dong Cheng here is my witness.
Wow, okay. He's really committed to this loyalty test method.
And Zhongji's reaction is just pure defiance. He basically yells, "Chika pa can, loyal men don't fear death. We'd rather die as Han ghosts than be like you, sucking up to the traitor."
Boom, passed the test. That's the kind of fire you need, I suppose. It really highlights the paranoia, doesn't it? You have to be absolutely sure before you bring someone into something this dangerous. One leak and everyone's dead.
For sure. So Dong Cheng shows of the edict. They're moved to tears, sign the compact. Then Wu Zelen arrives, gets the rundown, and he signs too. Now they have a core group of 6.
6 down, getting somewhere. The shared anger about Zhujian, the proven loyalty through the test. It's building momentum.
But just as they're maybe feeling a bit better, celebrating this small success, another knock at the door. This time, it's Ma Teng, the Grand Administrator of Zhejiang, a big name.
Ma Teng. Okay, he's a powerful figure from the West, known for his troops.
Right, and Dong Cheng is immediately suspicious, tries to send him away, pretending he's sick.
Trying to keep the circle tight, understandable.
But Ma Teng is having none of it.
Oh.
He's angry. Says he saw Dong Cheng just last night, out and about, looking perfectly healthy in his fancy brocade robe, jade belt.
Oops, busted.
Yeah. And Ma Teng lays into him, basically says, "You people are useless. None of you are trying to save the nation."
Ouch. He's not mincing words.
Not at all. Dong Cheng, though, maybe senses something in Ma Teng's anger. So he tests him back, pretending to defend Cao Cao. Asks, Qisiang, Cao Cao is a great minister. The court relies on him. Why would you say such things?
Turning the tables. Another test.
And Ma Teng explodes. Wu Ting! You still think that Traitor Tao is a good person, followed by Kook. Cowards who fear death aren't worthy of discussing great matters.
Okay, that is pure, unadulterated fury. There's no faking that kind of reaction. Ma Ting's loyalty to the Han, or at least his hatred for Cao Cao, seems absolutely genuine there. He's basically daring Dongqing.
Exactly. That raw passion convinces Dongcheng. He brings Ma Teng into the study, shows him the edict.
And Ma Ting's reaction?
It's intense. Dong Chuki Jungting! His hair stands on end. He's grinding his teeth, bites his lip so hard it bleeds. Pure rage and determination.
Wow. Visceral.
He immediately pledges his support. Promises to bring his Western-leaning army as, external support. Signs a compact. Joins the blood oath. Sir, we swear we'll die before we betray this.
So Ma Teng adds not just another name, but serious military muscle to the plot, a potential game changer.
Definitely. And then Ma Ten, the military man, immediately starts thinking strategy. He looks around at the others. There are 5 conspirators present with him now and says, Discord we. If we can get 10 people, this whole thing will work.
Ah, the magic number 10. Interesting. He's already thinking about critical mass, about the resources and influence needed.
Dongqing is a bit more cautious, though. He warns, Tukosin Botfang. Basically, loyal guys are hard to find. Pick the wrong one and it'll blow up in our faces.
Very true. The risk increases with every person added.
So Ma Teng suggests looking through some kind of official register, maybe a family tree or court list. He finds some members of the Liu imperial clan.
They're Emperor's own family.
And gets excited. Points to one name and asks, why don't we talk to this guy? And that's where our chapter leaves us hanging.
A cliffhanger.